NiP on the CT side and Virtus Pro kicking it off on the favored side. And what do we have here? We've got a few nades for Virtus Pro. Looks like they are just going to go for a straight up B play.
That seems to be the name of the game here. Not a fast one though, pretty slow. Grenades coming in, and there's the flashbangs exist. Pushing on up to be coming through the smoke, gets headshotted right down from Neo. And a good execute onto the B side, but 3 players very close here, Dan. Snacks is going to pick himself up a second frag with a bomb planted. Things have gone horribly pear-shaped. No defuse kits either in the hands of NiP.
Yeah, these players are very tagged though, but there's only 2 CTs left to try to eliminate them. So let's see if they can get some good angles. GetRight's going to find a fast headshot into Snacks as Forrest works his angles here towards B plant. It's actually really working out so far for the NiP side. They are having to rely on GetRight, but he's not going to get it done in the end. So Virtus Pro with a very simple B push with just a handful of nades, going to get it done and put NiP on the back foot straight away.
That's always the danger for the CTs. You saw Exist, who typically is around the drop zone, started to push onto platform, but by then the smokes were already down. He had to push through the smoke to try and get the information to make sure it was a B execute, and in doing so he met a Glock to the forehead. So very unfortunate, but VP now picking up that round. Obviously it's going to be the force in from NiP, including a Mag 7 in the hands of GetRight, who is pushing, and that's a beautiful picture he's got as well. I'm loving it.
Yes, Ali with a
tash
mustache or something is
like
kind
a
of
porno tash. I'm not sure
weird.
if I should be aroused or terrified right now. Maybe a bit of both.
Well, we've got a Mag 7 on GetRight, so that is definitely gonna warrant some potentially horrifying action, because he's got that close range angle towards this alcove here on the B platform, and he might just have a spot through the gap in the smoke. So patient, but looks like Virtus Pro not interested in B after all.
Yeah, just sixth sense tingling somewhat there. It is a heavy stack towards B as Pasha with the Mac 10 is going to do work onto Exist. That's a pretty important frag as well. But look at this. They do have a player snaking his way round the back from the CT's perspective. The issue is, are the rest of his team going to stay alive long enough for Alu to get into this position to do damage?
It's like Snacks is just going to take him down. There's so little rip. So little possibilities there for Ali to get something done, and it's just Forrest and GetRight. Got to imagine they're just interested in saving these weapons now from this point forwards. I mean, the Mag 7, you can make a lot of bank off of that. He really wants to take that into the next round, but he's not going to get the opportunity to. Virtus Pro clean house, take down all 5 players of NiP, and they will be down for a full eco onto this round pretty much. And yeah, it's going to get quite scary, because one thing that's cool about the SMGs is that it allows you to anti-eco towards A, whereas if you have rifles, it's much harder to do that, because you need to spend all the nades to get rid of the hard positions. But whereas with the SMGs, you can just jump and run around the corners, and that's a very strong way to deal with it. But they are spreading out here, moving towards B again.
It's a really good point you raise. Plus, if you die with an SMG, not the end of the world.
Expendable, yeah.
Exactly. Whereas an AK, not quite so much. And they've still got 4 SMGs in play as well, by the way, here in this anti-eco. And the CZ is not going to get much done from the CT's perspective. The Mac 10 just ripping on through from Pasha onto Alu, and that leaves Forrest and Exist all that remain for NiP. And there we go, another clear-cut round for VP. Expect some of these SMGs to get dropped now and moved into AK-47s instead.
Yeah, now we get the big boy guns coming out. We've got Pasha on the op straight away. And Taz looks like he's going to hold on to his MP7. I really like that. I think it's really cool to do this sort of play, especially considering that it's very likely that not all the CTs will have a helmet in a round like this. So that means the SMG becomes even more brutal, even more deadly. And again, potentially a shock and awe play from Virtus Pro, looking to get the pressure on B platform. And they will get slowed down by the counter grenades of their opposition. So if they were planning on a fast round, NiP has certainly put a halt to that.
The problem is, though, that because of the lack of funds, they really are right down to a bargain bucket of grenades now. Just the HE as the Molotov goes in. So if VP just wait and bide their time, NiP will have no grenades to stop this push, and they only have 1 defuse kit as well. So far so good for NiP, but I feel like things are about to get pretty terrifying for them.
Absolutely, I think you're right. It's the calm before the storm right now. We have the last nades pretty much used by NiP, as you rightly said. Virtus Pro have done this perfectly. They've managed to get rid of all the grenades. All the utility is gone now for NiP, and in comes a decisive and savage push from the Polish side. But looks like actually Freiberg is in a good position. He's going to pick up 2 quick kills before being eliminated, so he's done a good job for his team. As we have Ali and Forrest remaining. Ali's going to win the duel against EO. He's actually giving NiP a chance. The bomb is down as well at his feet, but he is the last man standing at this point, and looks like Bialy will shut him down. So very well handled round by Virtus Pro. They're keeping it simple, but they're doing the right things.
Yeah, and we discussed this before as well, Dan, that VP are the kind of team that are ruthless. If you give them a chance to destroy the economy, they're going to leap at it with everything they have, and that's exactly the position we find ourselves in right now. NiP yet to get themselves on the scoreboard into an upgraded pistol round with just a few grenades to play with as well. VP looking poised for a 5-0 already in this map, which is suddenly landslide out of control. Pasha misses the shot. Does get some information for his troubles though. Wow, Freiburg with the balls of steel goes for the repeak against the NiP.
Yeah, almost actually had an opportunity as well. Unfortunately, he didn't. Well, I guess we'd be pretty nuts for him to hit that shot, but there was a slight opportunity. We'll have to see if they can get more here, NiP. Virtus Pro just sending out the feelers at the moment, trying to bait a response from the CTs, maybe make them go into some very unfavorable engagement. But so far, it's actually a push from A-Long that could be the first real contact from NiP. They are holding their horses, actually, and now falling back. NiP really don't know what's going on at the moment, but we can see the 3 players in drop. I think Freiburg may have an inkling to this.
Well, the problem is that even if he does have an inkling, he only has a pistol up against AKs. But that's maybe all that Get Right needs. There's one frag, he gets traded out, however, and now Taz is going to keep pushing around the corner. Alu wrecks him, drops him down to just 17 HP, but that's not enough. Freiburg finishes him off, can't get the double. And now Exist, all that remains for the CTs. And VP, like you normally say, well, that's a pretty decent round for the CTs. The fact is, they're already 5-0 behind, and Virtus Pro can easily replenish these lost weapons. It's no big deal for them. So unless Exist can get another couple kills, which he hasn't been able to do so, VP are going to be very happy with that result.
Yeah, they've been doing really, really well when it comes to not dying. They've actually lost very few players on all of these rounds, and their money really is beginning to reflect that. Lots of bank for the Polish side as NiP finally have full utility to go along with their rifles. No AWP in sight for Ali, though, which is unfortunate, but it's they have a lot of good rifle setups anyway with Ali, so it's okay. And we'll have to see what Virtus Pro will decide to do, because Virtus Pro, they can't play that simple game where it's like, let's just deplete their utility. They could try to do that, make a more prolonged round, but looks like they might be trying to set up map control towards A for maybe an A execute as the flavor of round 6.
Very well be the case. You can see the Pasha just lurking around though, on the off chance that things get sticky over on the A side. Of course, Cobblestone is such a vast map as well for the CTs to rotate through, and you saw the peak there. Forrest gets the frag, he gets traded out instantly, and VP don't pull the trigger just yet. In actual fact, they're playing this one slow. Get Right's going to get the upper hand in danger, going to look for another frag, and catches the player jumping out, but Neo too fast. A 3-on-3 now, and time ticking down.
Yeah, this is actually quite crazy, but Pasha's in a position to maybe make life a little bit easier for Virtus Pro, as there is an engagement. It's very close, he'll miss the shot, but somehow still get the kill. Alu can't get it done there, as Pasha wins, and Exist is put to the defense now by the APC. He's the last man standing in the bomb site for NiP. Pasha's going to miss another shot with the AWP. Virtus Pro might not get any more opportunities, as there is time now for Freiburg to rotate in to help the effort, and there is the trade. It's all on Pasha. If he's going to have a redeeming moment in this round, it would be against Freiburg. He's on 20 health, and he's going for the plant immediately. Freiburg's going to hear this. He's creeping ever forwards. The AWP is out though, and Pasha will connect the shot. So redeeming moment for Pasha, and NiP lose it yet another round, but they did kill 4 players.
They did, however, again, that's probably not good enough for NiP, because look at their economy. They're going to go for the FACEIT. I mean, I can understand the idea behind NiP. They desperately want to start getting some rounds on the board, but if they lose this, Dan, they're up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Alu didn't kill Pasha.
Yeah,
that was nuts. I mean, Pasha got the opportunity to miss a shot and then pull out a pistol and then headshot him. Yeah. Like, point blank range.
And that's a key frag as well. It changes the entire dynamic of that round if he lands it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The NiP very much have a strong opportunity to win the round, if not for that. That's a mistake from Ali there. So perhaps they should get him on an AWP instead. We'll have to see how their next buy will actually look. Again, they'll have the max consecutive round loss bonus. Although they did actually force it up here, so they won't be able to afford an AWP next round. And they are running out of names rapidly. It looks like Virtus Pro just applying the same strategy as they did when NiP were in this situation previously.
I guess the motto here is if ain't broke, don't fix it, really, for VP. It's been working so well for them so far. Again, though, you do see NiP trying to get themselves around the back of the terrace, is what I was talking about before from the A-Long perspective. VP playing slow, maybe getting a bit predictable. The problem is that's only half the battle load from NiP. That's a beautiful first frag from Freiburg, but he gets traded out, which is obviously going to favor the terrorists. Only 30 seconds left on the timer, however, so the T's are going to have to start to get a move on, and Snax is taking the initiative. They line up for him, 2 kills, no one watching, dropping a 3rd as well. What is going on from NiP? No one had any eyes on drop.
Yeah, that timing from Snax is just so stellar. I mean, he's got this uncanny sense for just like the perfect moment to strike, and he was waiting, and then he went for it, and his gut instinct often is going to be right, and that is going to be 7-0 now. NiP with the save. Next round they'll have a big buy. They've gone for, they probably bought down to around $2,000 to $2,500, so they'll have a strong buy in the following rounds. A couple 5.7s in play, Deagle, some Kevlar, but not much really other than that to speak of, as NiP look to find an aggressive edge somewhere, but they can't get it done. Taz will deflect Freiburg, and Virtus.pro look close to going for the final push onto the B-bomb site.
Looks to be the case. I think that they also got some information that 2 players are around mid on A, so they obviously know that B is a bit vulnerable right now, ripe for the taking perhaps. They've taken a while though, and that's going to give the other CTs a chance to wrap themselves around an exist land for 1 dig. Well, flashbang in a second as well, and that brings us down to a 2-on-2. Again, you'd probably fancy the T's here, but another beautiful 1-tap from Forest. Pasha goes in, he clutches that one out, now it's a 1-on-1.
Oh, and Ali's going to find it somehow. Brilliant stuff by NiP. I mean, Exist with that 2 kill with the Deagle, absolutely key there for the CT side of NiP. But let's see whether or not they can actually keep the ball rolling here. Virtus.pro actually have sustained quite a lot of damage in some of the recent rounds, so due to that fact, their money is not looking too fantastic. So NiP could absolutely steal some momentum away from them here and bring themselves a few rounds in a row. But they obviously cannot possibly afford to lose these next couple rounds if they want a chance back into this match.
Because of course they've reset their round loss bonus, so if they lose this now, they're back to being broke, completely broke. And then you've got VP at potentially 8-1 in the lead. Yeah, it's a T-sided map. It's definitely not this T-sided, and they could get a whole lot worse for NiP. So a lot of pressure, and they'll know it as well, Dan. They'll know exactly what's up against them. That's a crucial frag. Get right, alleviating some of that pressure. Right off the bat, picks up Snax.
And Neo, though, with an excellent flick there towards the chicken coop. He's going to get it done for Virtus.pro. Pasha with the snap through the drop zone area, and things looking fantastic for Virtus.pro. They are absolutely smashing NiP's B defense. Forest will go down, and despite some good work early on from Get Right and Alu, they are not going to get it done. And we will actually see a pause from Virtus.pro. So I imagine it's probably a technical issue, but I think we're on pause in about 60 seconds. So not anything too severe, I shouldn't think.
I would definitely hope not. But this is almost a nightmare for the CTs and indeed NiP here. You've gone 7 rounds without winning. You finally claw one back, and then boom, your money evaporates. It's now gone. 1.9k. They've got 6.1 on Alu.
He should get an AWP, I think.
But no one else can afford really. So, it's what do you do here, Dan?
I think on Ali's perspective, I just buy an AWP and just see if I can just do something ridiculous with it. Because I mean, buying an AWP will even up the money, and why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
I love it.
But I think it's a pretty legitimate way to spend the money at the moment, because I mean, otherwise, you know, you could drop some FAMAS. But the thing about purchasing some rifles is that then you're up against AKs, and even if they buy Kevlar, if they force the Kevlar, then it's still, the engagements are so unfavorable, and you have to play against an advantage for the AKs. However, the AWP can always find advantages against the AKs. So you're actually going to see Alu force it up all the way here. It looks like NiP will force it up all the way regardless. Feeling like they're going to need to double eco anyway to get a proper buy-in. Makes a lot of sense. But hopefully Alu can deliver something here for their team now, because he is obviously the key player with that AWP to do something. But will it be an A push? Will he just try to play reactively, try to play at the same kind of setups as they would in a rifle round? We'll have to see what NiP choose to do with the important player that is Alu in this round.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're going to jump on board with him as well. Didn't have a fantastic spawn to maybe peak mid. So instead he's just going to be playing pretty standard here on B side. Almost throwing caution to the wind here, NiP. And they have gone for those pistol upgrades with armor. None of them have even remotely worked. So I can understand as well why they'd go for this. You know, try and mix up. Finally get an AWP. I think this is the first AWP we've seen on this season so far. And there we go. Alu gets the impact frag. That's huge. Pasha's down. And now NiP can try and bolster up their B defenses.
Oh, this is cool. They're going to try to actually get the weapon with a couple pistol players. There's a smoke down that's whiffed though by Snax. And that's actually kind of a big deal because Snax is going to get challenged now. Flick is missed, and that is a fatal mistake there for Snax. Now, can his teammates clean up and get the damage in? Looks like it's going to be pretty awful here for Virtus Pro. They're going to lose a couple players, leaving just Bialy and Neo against 3 of NiP. However, to push for those weapons would be very risky at this point, so NiP are just going to chill back and just hold some positions. And A is very hard to deal with because, again, we can actually see Neo walking A long. I don't know that it's really possible for Forrest to hear it, but he's going to spot Bialy and see the bomb. That's key. So the round looks very good right now for the Swedes and Finn.
It certainly does. But Neo, a player we said to watch out for, is going to charge that Molotov. Eats so much damage, he's down to 6, and he only has 20-odd seconds remaining, so he's going to have to go straight in for the jugular. He can't afford to play this one slow, and in doing so, he could play himself into a precarious position. There we go, Alu gets another frag with the AWP. 8-2, NiP could drag this back into a respectable halftime scoreline. But again, it is a mountain to climb.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really, really big mountain to climb. They do have the tools to do it at the moment, though, and Virtus Pro, they can throw in any number of strategies at this point. They could go very, very high risk, because if they win this round, you know, they just completely cripple NiP. It's pretty much over, it would feel like, if they were to lose this and be reset again. So we do have NiP playing a pretty standard defense. Where is Alu at? Alu is... Okay, he's in connector with the AWP, so he's rotating towards B. He's doing it at the right timing, but that's Pasha catching Get Right, maneuvering to a different position. This is terrible right now. Nice, no scope from Alu, but how much more damage can he get done?
The problem is that there's enough smoke to choke on there on the site. He can't see anything, so he's going to be forced to push through that, and in doing so, he will be shut down from Taz. Now it's all on Forrest. He gets one frag. He's traded out. And just as you said, it would be a catastrophe for NiP if they lose this round. That's exactly what they've done. So it's the second time that they finally got around on the board and they instantly lose the round after. So they're getting no kind of momentum whatsoever.
Yeah, it's really tough, to be honest. I mean, we'll actually see Snax buying a P90 again. The P90 is really cool because you have that factor where you can just run at choke points, run into drop, just be able to hold down mouse 1 whilst you're running around. And it's going to eat up those pistoling players that they know are in this round. So... good stuff here from Virtus Pro, just moving in for an A split, completely circumventing the defense of NiP so far. And it should be a pretty easy round for Virtus Pro. I'd be surprised if they lose a player, but you never know. See multiple engagements and they're all going to go to Virtus Pro pretty much. And there's another one, so some damage done here by NiP.
Oh, NiP were evil. Evil? That's definitely the wrong word. Even. Maybe a Freudian slip coming in there. They were even there at a 3-on-3, and I was thinking things could get a bit interesting, but then of course the hammer comes down from VP, and the bomb plant material has gone up nicely, so they will hit the double digits, and it's not even over just yet, Dan. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about here from NiP. I mean, I'm watching them, they just seem to be getting outclassed across the board. Yes, you could say some of it's coming down to timing that Pasha's going in for and Get Right getting caught, but that doesn't explain how they got destroyed on B, 7 rounds in a row at the start of this match.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it always sucks to lose a pistol round, but Virtus Pro have been showing that from the strength of their strategies is as expected. I mean, they're running the right strategies basically. It's not too complicated. It's not too. They're keeping it simple, but they're doing the right stuff against what NiP have. And then they're also just hitting their entry shots. And the tactics from NiP haven't been good enough. And that's one of the struggles on this map. It is hard to find superior tactics as the CTs to defend with. But that is fantastic. Ryback with a nice Deagle shot onto Pasha is at least going to give them a numbers advantage, just for the moment, at least.
That's definitely one way to give your team a fighting chance and effectively just pistol upgrades. But Neo is going to just shut the door in their face there. Snax as well. And Forrest and Alu again in a clutch scenario, just trying to get some exit frags. Really, there's no real hope of them getting this round on the board. You know, if the bomb was dropped somewhere around connector, maybe there's a chance then, but the fact of the matter is Taz is about to plant it. So Forrest and Alu, can you get any frags from this position? I'd probably say it's unlikely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very, very tough ask, to be honest. But perhaps they can get something done. I'm not sure how Virtus' money looks, whether the kills would actually impact them in the short term. Okay, so it would actually, if they were able to get like 2 or 3 kills, then it would be impactful, but looks unlikely. And he's been spotted, he's got some backstabs as well, 2 players facing him. That's 11-2. Big scoreline for Virtus Pro. they're looking like they're very much on track to get the 13-2 at this rate as well. Double AWP is the play now for NiP. That's the mix-up. Forrest is gonna give himself that big green gun and see if he can make a difference with it.
Well, I guess better late than never is what NiP are thinking right now. And maybe if they can get 4 rounds, maybe a miracle is possible. Exists is going to pick up one, looking for the double spray down, can't get it done. And Forrest does catch Neo, kind of with his pants down there on long. So the advantage does go to NiP, but we've seen these quickly slide away. Forrest gets caught in transition from Bjarly, who finally gets the frag after the 5th or 6th time of asking. And that got really dodgy for a few moments, but you can see the over-rotation coming in from NiP, and VP are going to pounce on that. They instantly start to wrap themselves around towards the B side, and NiP have nobody even close. This could be a free plant.
Yeah, that was really smart by Bjarly, kind of capitalizing on the full sense of security there. And look at this. Snax is going to catch Alu out of position there, catch him off guard as he didn't expect him to be there so quickly. And Pasha is going to hit him in the side. So they're getting hit from all over the place without even having any idea where it's coming from at this point. Gero's the last man standing to look for the clutch. He's going to find the engagement against Snax, but once again, multiple angles to deal with here. He's going to get the kill onto Snax, but he's down to 12. Bjarly looking to try to close this round for Virtus Pro. Get right in with the smoke grenade there. And he's going to try to pre-fire him, but it's not going to happen. Bjarly will take the kill, and Virtus Pro, despite losing a couple players early on, thanks to Bjarly's refrag and the general speed of the pushback to B from Virtus Pro, they're going to get it done for a 12-2.
Oh man. I don't want to be pessimistic or anything. I just feel like I've got to be realistic here, Dan. This game is pretty much done.
Yeah, NiP's chances to win are very much.
Even if they win this, I can't see them coming back.
I'd say it's like sub 3% or something, their chances to win from this kind of a deficit. But hey, we'll have to see if they can come into resurgence on the T side. It is a bit favoured. But the issue is that they just have so few chances. They will have no buffer of rounds. There's no margin for error. So that's very difficult to deal with.
That's exactly it, and especially going through onto a T side as well, where some things do come up to chance. Do the CT stack a bomb site, for example? Do they just get that perfect flash at the right time? These things can completely switch around back in favour of VP when they go through into the CT side. But as I'm speaking, NiP are doing work in this round with a P90 and a 5-7, but again, VP just keeping on top of things, getting the bomb planted in a few moments' time, courtesy of Taz. And Forrest spots himself a play, but eats a bit of damage, tries again. He's still got a HE. Of course, this is the final round, and what a ridiculous grenade that is. Lands by the feet of Bjarly. He gets wrecked, and now Forrest could potentially get the round clutch, but I spoke too soon. 13-2.
That was a sick grenade, though.
It was pretty sexy.
Yeah, that was a really nice grenade. All right, so 13-2 indeed is the score. So pretty much the winner of the pistol round is basically confirmed, more or less, as close as you can be to winning this one. So let's see if NiP can bring about some kind of well, a nice pistol round. That said, I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated for it to be nice. I mean, we saw Virtus Pro just go for a slow B plat push into the B bomb site and win that round as their T pistol. So maybe potentially Virtus Pro. I'm curious if they're going to go aggressive, in particular on the A side, just try to wrap in towards B. Or how they're going to handle this. Is it going to be defensive? They're sending 4 towards drop zone at the moment.
Yeah, pretty heavy stack right now.
Well, actually boosting as well.
Yeah, looking for that information. Get was waiting, but he didn't convert that into a frag. And didn't do as much damage to Snax as maybe he was expecting, only 36 there. So they were hoping and praying that VP did go for that boost, but they weren't able to pull the trigger, and Pasha lands the headshot. Neo gets traded out, and now the full-on rush towards the A side could be coming in, but the fact that Taz is there and lands himself a shot definitely puts a halter, derails the juggernaut of this attack. 2-on-2 now, and the bomb is starting to maneuver its way onto the A side. Beautiful exchange of frags. Freiburg up against Snax. They're both extremely low. Almost the next bullet will seal this round up. Snax sees him jumping up there, but can't get anything done. And goes for the repeat as well. Oh, Freiburg through the doors into the head, clutches the round for NiP. What a fantastic shot that is. And maybe that's the start of something special.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. That was pretty good. All right, so NiP managed to win themselves the pistol, but they have to defend against what could potentially be a force buy. They don't know just yet, but they could very reasonably assume that that's what they're up against. However, Virtus Pro have gone a little bit halfway. They haven't invested everything. We got the auto shotgun on Get Right. Alu's picked up the Mag-10. Galil on exists, so lots of weapons here, but wow. Oh, the bait from Neo as well. they might not suspect Taz to be there. Let's see if that bait play is going to be successful. The smoke, of course, is kind of going to sort of reset the situation a little bit, but as they can't quite find the frag, but it looks like Forest will do a very thorough job in searching every nook and cranny. He's going to find multiple kills, and this looks very good for NiP now. They're pretty much on the site, but there is Snacks in play.
Well, they do get the crossfire down, so Bialy at least puts down Exist, but he gets traded out, so it's really not going to matter at the end of the day. Pasha, last remaining player, has the CZ and Kevlar. He just wants to save this. There's no point charging in without a defuse kit or any grenades to smoke screen your way across. So CZ and Kevlar, if played in a close angle, could be pretty devastating in round 18, if he can hold on to this, which it looks like he will, on the other side of the map to the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Virtus.pro had a lot of cool tactics there, a lot of nice little team play setups. We saw that the kill from, I think it was Neo, then he smoked it down, tried to bait for Taz. We saw the crossfire between Bialy and Snacks. A lot of cool, little touches going in there that could definitely, against a lesser team, that could be, could just blow you up with the caliber of players on Virtus.pro. So NiP will show their strength. They'll take down everybody, only losing 2 players themselves to those nice little tactics of Virtus.pro. But now it's time for a similar situation for Virtus. Not really much of an investment. Pasha's got, of course, the CZ and Kevlar that he saved, and we'll see a few PT50s and grenades from the rest of the Virtus.pro side. So 4 HEs, curious how they're going to use these. Typically, it's if you get B plateau pressure, you throw them for that. However, NiP doing the smart thing, going towards A with the MAC-10.
Well, Forrest heard that movement as well. See the Jaws music, because he is hunting down Neo, picks up the frag. And we did see originally that charge onto B. They didn't unleash the grenades though, so they do still have 2 in play. I think they had a 3rd until Taz got picked off as well, so that's kind of unfortunate. And Get Right rearranges Bialy's face, point blank range XM shot to the forehead. That's going to leave a mark, and VP will now find themselves with only 2 players left.
Yeah, well handled by NiP. They made the right call, and again, it's the beauty of having that MAC-10. You can just don't need to use the nades. You can just get that guy spraying and running around corners, and your team can be fast behind him to get the quick trades if need be. And luckily for them, the path was pretty much clear towards A anyway. So pretty clean round here from NiP. They are going to get a few rounds back to work with, and they're going to put Virtus.pro in the similar position that they found themselves in when it was on when they were on the first half. So can they do as Virtus.pro did? Because in Virtus.pro's position, the strategy that they ran was a slow round towards B, where they kind of just sucked the CT side dry of grenades before snapping in with just a simple B split. Great strategy in a situation like this. Curious whether NiP will go with something similar.
It's interesting as well to see how VP approached this as opposed to NiP. NiP went for more incendiary grenades. VP really haven't gone for any, so this allows them to get more smokes and flashbangs instead of the firewalls coming down. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be the play here from NiP. You can see they're playing this one very, very slow. They're spreading themselves up across the map, hoping they can get a frag here. The problem is, though, going back onto a point that you made before, Dan, that yes, NiP have started to claw their way back in, but there's no room for error. As soon as they start to make mistakes, VP have such a huge round buffer at their disposal that NiP are constantly just trying to navigate their way through hurdles. They just need to make sure they don't stumble.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a rough ride. And right now they're just playing the map control. They could go at B or A at this point, to be honest. They've got forward positioning everywhere. We're going to pause from Forest. I hope it's not an issue. I mean, yesterday I think there were some issues for Forest. In fact, he had to disconnect from one of the matches. Hopefully we don't have something similar at play. And so we will get right looking to harass B plateau as the rest of his teammates go towards A. And so this is a bit more of a convoluted play than we had VP making, but Get Right's going to get the opening. Pasha's down. Get Right delivering again. Bialy hits the ground as well. He's got himself into the B bomb site as the play snaps into A. They clear out everybody. Looking pretty good right now. So NiP looked good to win this one.
I was originally worried for NiP there because they started to aggress on the site with about 25 seconds left, and I was curious, if Forrest is having issues, you can see he's still in the same position as before. Like, clearly he's having some kind of PC issue, maybe internet problems. So I was thinking, okay, NiP, are you actually going to get onto this site today? Like, you're going to get shut down. Is this round going to cost you huge? That's not the case. A very impressive play from Get Right on platform. Draws out 3 players, picks up 2 frags all by himself. And now VP just trying to hold on to that AK with the Kevlar, and Snacks is being hunted. 2 players coming his way.
I gotta say, I do much prefer, personally, the approach from Virtus Pro, just to deplete the low amount of utility from the CT side before executing, because as you made the point, you have if you have no like counter flashes or counter smokes or incendiaries, it's super hard to hold that, and NiP went for more of a kind of individual based play there, moving with some map control towards A and towards B. And there's a lot of possibility for you to like lose players in that situation, maybe like lose 1 or 2 players and then go down to a 3 versus 5 before you've really got yourselves in position to go for a push. So I was a bit scared there for NiP that round wouldn't go so well, but they managed to win it. Although there are some technical issues, it would appear, for Forest. Any thoughts?
Well, it's been a strange game, Dan. It really has. NiP really didn't show up for the first 10, 15 minutes of this game, but we're starting to see, I think, some form landing. Get Right in particular started to step up. So it's highly improbable, I would still say, that NiP come out with this win. But I feel like they're going in the right direction. Like they're going up. They're not going sideways, as it were. So there's a chance here. But VP, I feel like this is almost VP's game to lose from this point. If they don't start to try and kind of switch up their defense and try and push the envelope a tiny bit more, if they want to go aggressive themselves, if they want to start wrapping around the back of the very slow pushes that NiP are going in for. NiP haven't really gone for anything fast so far. It's been very, very slow pushes. So I'd kind of expect someone on VP to play aggressive and just try and catch them as they move around and transition onto a site.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that I'm worrying about for NiP is that their style can be a little bit inconsistent, because they want to go for more of the individual focused plays rather than thinking on more of as I mentioned for Virtus Pro, more on like a team scale, what's happening from like a team scale. But hopefully, okay, looks like NiP are getting a stand-in actually. So not sure if we have an ETA on that. But okay. Well, okay, I think we should go for a quick break, as we have no idea how long this is actually going to take NiP to grab somebody, and hopefully we'll be back very, very shortly, guys, with the match. I think there's a real chance here for NiP, but it's going to be tough.
child of Iris, coming crisis. You're invited.
Alright guys, we are back here with the match between NiP and Virtus.pro, the first game of the last broadcast for the online portion of the FACEIT European League, which will qualify teams to the LAN finals. Lots of crazy stuff happening. We've got Delpan subbing in for Forest. Oh dear.
You hate to see it.
Yep, it's never fun. Forest was having issues yesterday as well. But let's see. NiP on the with some momentum at the moment, back into the match. It's like Freiburg is going to make his way into CT mid and get eliminated, whilst GetRight opens up the B-bomb site for the team. GetRight is just really smashing Virtus.pro at the moment in these last few rounds. Good job by him again.
Yeah, really stepping up his performance. As I said before, like a couple giants starting to awaken from their slumber. Delpan comes in, does pick himself up his first frag here after replacing Forest. And you do wonder how that's going to fare for their comeback as well, you know, just having to trade out a player. Yes, they win this round, but VP didn't really have too much weaponry to play with. But NiP, they're getting themselves close up. They've just got to take it each round at a time. There's no point looking at the top scoreboard and saying, okay, we're 6 rounds behind. Just take it each round at a time, play the strats that you're comfortable with. Just kind of free yourself. In a way, NiP are kind of freeing themselves up right now. They don't have to worry too much. They know the chances of them, you know, winning this game may be quite low at half time. Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it's 3 orbs though for Virtus.pro. We're seeing a lot of triple orb lately, and that Molotov is going to be perfect. Delpan with an excellent punish after throwing the Molotov, and that is how it's done. So NiP with another advantage early into the round. They look like they are actually closing the distance, 6 rounds away from Virtus.pro's score. Not impossible here. Bialy's going to take down GetRight though, and that's going to even the situation up for Virtus.pro on the numbers. But they only have 2 on the B-bomb site at the moment. Still unconvinced as to where NiP are going.
There's a couple of dangerous players right now. I was about to say that Freiburg and Taz were playing a very dangerous game of cat and mouse. That will put VP at a player disadvantage. This is going to keep Neo interested on long. There is 50 seconds to play with still plenty of time for NiP. They could even wrap themselves around onto B, but the fact they've just picked up Neo is going to definitely give the green light to this A push. And suddenly VP on the back foot again. Could they even feasibly go for this retake? That could lure them in after picking up that frag. But it seems they're not too interested here. They will just save the AK and the AWP. Sorry, the M4 and the AWP even.
Indeed, indeed. So Virtus.pro will be able to take something into the next round. I'm really not sure why we're seeing triple AWP though, because it's kind of a weird one. Especially on a map like this where you can just... Like, what if they just execute smokes onto the B-bomb site? What are you going to do with 3 AWPs? I don't know. It's a similar situation if they try to play and execute on the A site, or just generally speaking, it's just very hard, I think, to be dynamic with the AWPs. And if you're ever in a position where you have to retake a site with more than 1 AWP, then that's also really awkward. So it's a weird thing that we're starting to see quite a bit lately. I'm not sure about it, but either way, NiP will pick up another round. And Virtus.pro, they did save, so they can actually force it up here and see if they can get it done, if they can break NiP in this round. But will they be able to do it? NiP is starting to really feel themselves, and GetRight is just going ham towards B with these openings.
Yeah, GetRight really has been the key determining factor. You know, those entry frags, the huge impact kills that he's getting over on the B side. He's constantly putting VP on the back foot. And this round seems to be like a full-on A-B. Full-on B, I should say. I thought it could originally be a rush, but they have held off with that smoke landing right in their face. They're still going to edge their way up onto the platform. GetRight again, no huge surprises who's going in on taking point. Wants to try and get that entry frag for his team once more.
Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense. You know, GetRight's going to be so hungry after just completely devouring these players again and again. Insatiable appetite for frags, but he's going to be silenced this time by Pasha as the AWP is starting to go to work. Pasha finds a second frag. Virtus.pro start to really get the defense going, leaving only the sole AWPer left alive for NiP. Alu is going to get taken down by Pasha as well. 3 kills this time from Pasha. Much bigger display, or much bigger performance from him. And Virtus.pro finally win their first round on the second half. And that's going to be 14-8. So the pressure really mounts now onto NiP. They are running out of opportunity.
Yeah, therein lays the issue with being so far behind at half-time. You can have a fantastic half here on the T side, but as soon as you slip up once, VP are right back in it. Only 2 rounds away. Yes, NiP, because they've won so many rounds in a row, are able to buy back up, and it's a real healthy buy with 2 AWPs. But that's not going to matter if VP can just edge ahead once more here. So many rounds for NiP to hold on to. Early confrontations not really going either way. Get Right has lost 44 HP. But the way that he's been fragging, he only really needs to just catch a glimpse of a millimeter of a head. He's going to convert that into a frag. So definitely can't count them out just yet, NiP.
Yeah, 4 AWPs on the map at the moment, 2 for either side. It's kind of
That's a
nice
good point, yeah.
to see. And NiP once again have taken map control towards. Oh, this should be a frag. There it is. Good stuff from tactical display of NiP, and it's going to be a 4 versus 4 now as Neo takes down Delpan. So he does get a trade with his AWP. So many AWPs here. There's still one of them has been lost now for NiP. Ali is the only one left, and Neo might just catch him. He's moving through behind the wooden fence, but wow, and Neo's just going to scalp Freiburg there with his AWP, and it's only Alu left alive at this point. He has been discovered as well, and he can be wall-banged for days. The smokes are going away as well, so Alu's going to be exposed and promptly eliminated. 15-8 now, Virtus Pro 1 away from taking this one with such a dominant showing against NiP.
Yeah. Well, the reasons why NiP were getting into good positions to start off was they're always seemingly getting the entry frags on the T side, whether it was Get Right. We saw Alu get a couple, Freiburg even picked up a few as well. But as soon as that starts to subside and VP just play more passive and play a lot more intelligently, honestly, you're seeing the result. NiP can't get anything done here. It's such a hard nut to crack for them. They do now have the entry frag again, and typically they will be able to convert this, but there is Taz. He just locks down onto Freiburg. He gets traded out from Alu. And NiP are doing work here on the A side. They picked up another frag, and just like that, it's a 4-on-2.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough here. Just Bialy left. What is he going to do? Can he get some damage in? NiP's money has been pretty decent, so if he can get a few kills here, that'd be fantastic. Can he even win the round at this point? They don't know where he is, and Alu is critically low. Get Right is just holding the flank, and he's going to find Bialy. Wow, he misses the shots initially. He does get dinged in the end, but the frag will be found anyway. So we're going to have NiP, their economy a little bit strained, but it doesn't really matter at this point because Virtus Pro are 1 away from victory. It seems very difficult for Virtus Pro to pick up rounds here so far, but you got to feel like it still feels like an inevitability that they're going to close the game sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it definitely does. The problem, though, for VP here is they have to go into an eco, and this would get NiP into double digits. You know, psychologically speaking, that could be the boost that they were looking for. And if they can break the economy once more, we could be getting in towards overtime territory here. And that's the first flag going the way of Exist. He does take damage, though, and he gets traded back from Bialy's Deagle. NiP aren't charging in, all guns blazing, and they are going to play this one slow. The smoke keeps a couple players at bay, and look at that frag from Get Right. Again, he pushes through the smoke, lands the execution style frag onto Snacks, and, well, there we go. Again, the entries onto B should be converted into a comfortable round here for NiP, unless Neo has something to say about it.
Yeah, PD50 just going to pop up onto the bomb site, and that's going to be that. So another round won by NiP, but the buy is going to be coming in from Virtus Pro now. So Virtus Pro have 5 chances to close this one. Or 4 chances to close this one. Let's see if they can do it. We've got the double AWP in play again for NiP. So pretty unorthodox approach from NiP. And Virtus Pro this time around, they don't have much to say for themselves. They even have a FAMAS at play. And 5 smokes at least, but only a single incendiary. No flashes. No flashbangs at all.
And no defuse kits either, Dan. So if the bomb goes and gets planted here, VP are in all sorts of trouble. Not only because they won't have the grenades necessary to retake the site, but because they'll have no defuse kits on top of it. So it is of paramount importance for them to get information. That's the reason why they're going so aggressive here, is to try and stop the bomb plant before it even gets a chance to go down. The problem is, though, that they got the early initial information but didn't pick up a frag, and that's the key part of this tactic. But they still have 5 players remaining, and you can see Freiburg did eat significant damage.
Yeah, indeed. It's... Okay, this NiP ready to crush Taz in this position. They do have a Molotov actually. I wonder if they'll use it for one of the 2 sides past this choke point where Taz is residing currently. They're edging closer and closer. The Taz-Neo combo is basically going to be the defining moment of this round as all these NiP players start to go for the push. And indeed, Taz waiting on the right side Won't get Molotovs out of position, but now they know to look right and not left. And the pop flash is a little bit too early because the flames are still up there for Taz. There's the first frag. The refrag's coming in from Taz, and he's going to pick up the kill onto Delpan. So traded back by Get Right as the push speeds up onto the A bomb site. NiP know the time is now, but in comes the rotation from Virtus Pro.
What a shot from Alu. And now the nightmare is becoming a reality, but VP are bringing this back. It's a one-on-one, and Freiburg clutches it with 16 HP and gives NiP another chance at bringing this back. And because VP just force bought with FAMASes, they're back into no money again.
Why does Snacks have $0? Does it say?
Good question.
That looks really weird. Maybe he just, did he just like instantly buy or something? No, but he has nothing. He only has a P250.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I am confused right now.
That seems really odd, actually. Okay, it's just a bug. It was a bug.
Okay, I'm alongside you, Dan. You're not going crazy. I saw $0 as well.
Yeah.
So
we saw some interesting bugs yesterday as well on GoTV. Is amazing. Anyway, nice entries from Delpan, showing that he's a pretty valuable standard for NiP in this situation, and he's they are actually making this happen slowly but surely. They're bringing it back here. Virtus Pro not finding a lot of love on their buy rounds. And he's going to pick up an AK there. He can definitely go away and save this one. And the thing for Virtus Pro is, again, it's quite difficult and inconsistent to get aggressive on this map as a CT side. I mean, you can only really do that towards A. And against NiP, I think it's less good than some other teams because NiP tend to play more players towards A as part of their default, whereas a lot of teams tend to put more players towards B plateau and drop zone to begin the round with at the very least, even if they're going to spread back into A map control. So it's quite interesting how these strategies will match up. But in comes Virtus Pro with the buy. They got lots of money this time. The saved AK from Neo. So this is a real chance for them. But they're actually running out of chances now. NiP are actually bringing this back. They're 3 rounds away from overtime.
I could very well stand corrected. I couldn't see how NiP will bring this one back, but
Me too.
they're right on the brink right now.
Is that a total of 4 CT rounds won in the entire match that I just saw?
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think we're pretty much dead on there. It has been very T-sided so far, Cobblestone today. That being said, though, VP could still break the hearts of NiP. This comeback could be fantastic, but they may not get to the finish line. VP, they do have a healthier buy-up this time around, but no open play this time. And the grenades, they still have plenty of flashes and smokes. No HEs. And they are chugging through these grenades at a pretty fast rate. NiP just biding their time. You can see pretty much a full-on split across the board here, like not really committing to anything. The bomb's been dropped as well, so they're just happy to try and get some entries and get some information. So I think this is going to go right down to the wire again, like 20-30 seconds on the execute.
Yeah, but there is Bialy right at the end of the B plateau there. He could be quite deadly, to be honest, because they haven't had anybody clearing these 4 positions. And there you go, the flash from a teammate. Bialy peeks, even though he's just not full blind, he just didn't expect that position. And he's going to get eliminated. So that's going to force NiP to push up a little bit onto B platform, as Bialy has escaped, and look for some kind of a refrag, and that's going to be found by Alu. Get Right's now going to find his way into the bomb site. He knows the time is now. He'll take down Snacks. Fast headshot found. We do have Bialy still behind the statue there, looking to deal some damage, but the trades come in. 2 versus 2 now, as Virtus Pro tried to retake this.
Oh, but Neo's all by himself. He's got such a long time before his teammate gets close, but the time is so low. He's trying to pick this one up, but misses the spray and gets AWP'd down. That is a catastrophe for VP. That could have been their golden ticket to taking this match home. Instead, it's a 1v2. Maybe Taz can make amends for the previous mistakes. And he's been picked off. Oh my goodness. I even saw you almost jump out of your chair there, Dan. You couldn't believe it. And neither could I.
Oh my god, yeah.
What just happened?
That was so close, because you can see he thought that he had a little bit... maybe like a little bit of extra time that he didn't really have, and so he's like trying to line up that shot, but oh my goodness, that's NiP now 2 away from overtime. They're actually making this happen. Neo's got the AWP, and Virtus Pro, did they just, okay, they bought everything. They bought up mostly everything that they could.
Yep.
It's like Neo's going to get picked off immediately though, so the AWP is say goodbye to that AWP, which was out there in the middle of nowhere by itself. NiP, they look really good to go to overtime at the moment.
They certainly do. And I did say earlier, this is almost VP's match to lose. I feel like previous round, no true words may have been spoken. They should be 16-12 right now, and they'll know it as well. I wonder how much that's going to play in the back of their minds as well as we get closer to this overtime. If they'll be able to dust themselves down. Of course, they are very much a veteran team. They've all been around the block multiple times, so you'd expect that they can just dust off the cobwebs, but that's got to hurt even the most experienced of us out there. 5-7's going to do nothing, and this is going to be another round to NiP. Unbelievable. Then after, what was it, a 12-3 halftime scoreline, we're now one shy of an overtime.
I think it was 13-2.
13-2, so it was even worse than I originally thought.
Yeah, 13-2.
Yeah, 13-2. My God. That's 4 rounds on the CT side of Cobblestone out of 28, soon to be 29.
What's the money here of Virtus Pro? What are they going to be? Let's look at the money. Let's bring up the money, Mr. Producer Reese. Okay, so they're on 3,400 after the round loss, so they're going to have a lot of money in the bank. So they're going to spend. It's only Neo's who's really going to have a low amount of money. Neo's going to have 4.6. If I read the money correctly there. So he's going to be the poorest player. So that means everybody's going to have around 6k or something. Yeah, there you go. So oh, I even did the math right. Gonna take
proud
that.
of himself.
Take that. Yeah.
See how proud he is.
I'm not good at numbers, man. I'm going to take any small victories where I can find them.
It's like rule 1 of casting, never do maths on stream, because you'll always screw it up. Or at least I will, but you did nail that there. I'm a bit worried for VP for the same reason you mentioned before. If the smokes land here, 2 AWPs, not the greatest weapons to have. But who knows? Who knows how this is going to play out. I thought this game would have been long dead. That's not the case. NiP are still in this. The epic comeback is nearly on track. But Neo has shattered the dreams with the opening pick, and that's going to put so much pressure on the rest of NiP now.
Yeah, it looks like it's off to a good start for Virtus Pro. Can they... I mean, this is last chance saloon for them, because they should have won this, as you said, much earlier with such an advantage. NiP have I guess exerted some of the good old NiP magic, and they have climbed back many rounds, but they need one more to get to overtime, and then who knows what's going to happen. So here we go. We've got the push coming into B. This is where it's all going to be decided. Overtime or not. Can Virtus Pro defend? They've got Bialy up by the tree, and they've got Pasha with the AWP by the chicken coop. Here comes NiP.
This is a solid crossfire download from VP, and Pasha lands a 2 frag. Snacks is in his world to get right, and he gets picked off. And a phenomenal comeback gets squashed from VP right at the finish line. That's brutal. You hate to see it.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts, to be honest.
Oh,
I didn't expect NiP. We saw so few CT rounds won. So few. I mean, 5 in total. That is kind of unbelievable, to be honest. So, well, I mean, any highlights from that match? I mean, I don't know what to say, really.
The weird thing about that match is, even though it went the full 30 rounds, there was no one particular round where someone pulled off like a miraculous single-handed play. Get Right was consistently getting entry frags on the T side. I guess the one that steps out for me is the 2 versus 2, where VP like nearly whiffed the entire map. Where they should have had the frag on the bomb planter, it misses, and then it just creeps ever so closely to overtime. But it was a crazy game in so many different ways. There was a lot of good plays, there's a lot of bad plays, I think it's safe to say, and VP probably deserved to win, but NiP will be gutted at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Get Right had a lot of good performances, kind of single-handedly opening up the map and so on. So that was quite cool to see. But I did feel like Virtus Pro looked like the much better team, generally speaking. But somehow NiP just always managed to eke out these rounds. And I mean, also to me, like, it started to go wrong when I'm seeing VP buy 3 AWPs. I still can't figure out a way, like, from a theoretical standpoint, how this can how you can really justify this, especially on a map like Cobblestone. So well. Anyway, VP are going to get it done. NiP, they can still qualify, but they need to beat Titan. They're going to be playing Titan in the 3rd match today, and that's going to be on cash. So NiP still have a chance to qualify if you're an NiP fan. And I know that there are a lot of you guys out there. But before we go to break, it's time to open a Cobblestone case. Do we have a winner for the Cobblestone case, Mr. Producer Reese?
The winner is The Prodigy X19.
The Prodigy X19. Well, sir, you're about to be in for a fantastic time, because we only get greys here, so it's going to be good. There is a Dragon Lore in the case, but of course.
Can you imagine if a Dragon Walk actually came up?
That'd be awesome.
I don't know what I'd do. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do this.
I'm hoping for Dragon Lore for you, Prodigy.
So it's the Julies all the way.
You can do it.
Ooh.
Well,
that's like maybe the first blue that we've had, so.
It's not a bad skin either.
Nice. Who signed it?
Dignitas is on their MBK.
MBK. Boom. That's actually not too bad. That's not too shabby. That's probably maybe the best skin that we've actually had so far from these cases.
It's no Dragon Lord, but it's no garbage either.
True. Somewhere in the middle. But it's time to go for a break, guys. We'll be setting up the next match, which will be Virtus Pro versus Titan on Train. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you after the break.